I'm Rob Blair, ex-bootneck. For all of you guys out there, peace and power. And I'm now in the Commando Temple. It's an award-winning training space in southeast London, which is just a multidiscipline strength space where we get people moving really well. We just turn them into beasts.
Welcome everybody, Russ McDonough, aka The Nomadic Veteran, and welcome to this week's video and episode 5 of the Vet Files. Now I'm a former bootneck. Me, the missus, our 2 dogs, we live in a van and we're doing our very best to travel the world at the moment. Obviously we're having a few issues. Anyway, this is the Vet Files and this week's guest is Rob Blair. Now I've known Rob for many years. We served together in the Corps and the last time I seen him was back in 2001. So firstly, it was great to catch up with him. And secondly, it's great to see what he's created since he left the Marines. Now, he owns an award-winning gym down in southeast London called the Commando Temple, and you'll see why it's an award-winning. However, after talking to Rob, you can tell that his true passion is actually caring about people and actually trying to improve people, not just physically, but also mentally and spiritually as well. And I think that'll really come across when you listen to him speak. However, I don't want to steal his thunder, so here's Rob.
I saw the pamphlet, which referred to, you might remember this, the Green Beret as being the prize. So at the time in 2000, it had the Green Beret on the front cover, the prize, and then you looked through that magazine and it just showed people doing loads of badassery. And I looked at my own life as an 18-year-old young man / boy, and I thought, I want to be like those men. Basic training was incredibly challenging. I know some people enjoy it. I did not really enjoy any of it. But I am very fortunate that I did it. Going along Woodbury Common, I don't know why the hell they were putting these things in place at the time. There are these massive trenches, man-made trenches that they put in Woodbury Common back in 2000. And I remember doing a night nav, and I remember falling, basically sliding down. It's like a Venus flytrap, but instead of going over the top, I slid into one of these things at night time. I remember having to drag my ass out of it by putting on my CS95 gloves, which basically you could hold molten lava with them and you'd probably still be okay. Pulling myself out on these gorse bushes, and I still remember it now, because I remember just getting out covered in mud and just started to cry. And I was like, I can't believe how crap this is. I'm sure I was swearing more at the time. Life as a soldier was very hard for me for the first few years. But that was definitely because I needed to upskill and upregulate my character. If you want to be good at any career path, you have got to soak it up. I think you're better off being a grey man to start with, and then when you know what constitutes you being a very good soldier, you can do more of that thing. And it took me a good 3 years in the early stages of being a Royal Marine Commando to actually familiarise myself with what do I need to do, Rob Blair, to become really good. And then when I started to understand that, you know, no brainer, no archbishop required, I became a good soldier. And I started to enjoy it. Didn't like training, didn't like the first 2 years, but really started to enjoy it after that. The reason why I selfishly became a strength coach and remedial therapist is because I was medically discharged with, I had a discectomy in my lumbar spine. So basically what that means is you've got all of your jammy dodgers stacked up on top of each other. One of those jammy dodgers decides just to squeeze a little bit of jam out. It starts irritating, aggravating nerves that run into the legs. So I was having horrible crippling pains running down to my legs, the sciatic nerve. And it just meant that I couldn't soldier anymore. Had to have surgery. Doctors told me that you wouldn't lift, you wouldn't run, you wouldn't wipe your own arse, you won't have a meaningful existence. You know, there are people in place of power, especially ones that wear white garments and ties. They can be incredibly dangerous human beings when they're telling you what to do. Am I glad that I left? It's just part of my life. I'm not glad, I don't feel offended, it's what has happened. And now it means that I've just enriched my life with all of this really cool shit that, you know, I almost feel like, thank God these things have happened to me. Because, you know, I enjoy my life at the moment. I don't want to be an idiot, but I don't miss things too often. I can't think, I'm thinking now of the things that I miss. I can't think of anything, not just in the Marines, but in my life. I don't miss things in that way because they're just cool things that have happened or they're things that have occurred, but I don't dwell on missed opportunities like that. It's like, what do I have now moving forward? The guy who owns a restaurant in Blackheath, which is just up the road, when I was telling him about the vision of what I wanted for the Commando Temple, and I was saying, I need this indoor training space going to be like our HQ. It's going to be where people go and they do all of these cool things. They do A, B, C, blah, 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 blah. And he said to me, you know what, it almost sounds like a religious experience, almost like a temple. And I went, the Commando Temple. That's how the name came about, the Commando Temple. You know, it had nothing to do with training. It had everything to do with my background. And this temple name on the side of it was, that's where people are going to flock to go and pray, but this is where people are going to spend quality time working on their inner being with iron, steel, body weight, people that they like, that are all on the same path, exploring yourselves to actually make yourself feel challenged and uncomfortable, to make yourselves better. That's the Commando Temple. Managing people has been a harder experience, but the reason why I've been able to do that is because I was able to work on myself for 6 years after I left the Corps to not make myself as rigid in my methods. So I'm definitely now more of a willow tree instead of an oak tree when I'm dealing with people. I can talk to people across many different divisions of life, no matter where they're from, and I can probably make them feel comfortable because they know that looking at me, I'm an okay human being. You know, I'm there to not be malicious and just make them feel comfortable. Ethos of the Commando Temple is to not be an idiot to the people that you hang around with on a daily basis. Don't talk to yourself internally like you're a piece of rubbish, because you're going to go around there just feeling terrible about yourself. It's about making sure that you are working not just on the self-improvement of your physical vessel, but also the internal DNA within your brain, how you carry yourself. It's working on those things that you enjoy, you're going to be doing them more often. It's working on you taking time out to chill and relax with your loved ones or by yourself. It's explore. I used to have a thing on the wall before we renovated. It was explore before you expire. It's an evolving journey. I'm never going to become expert at it. I don't pedal myself as that person to help you with everything. I know some really bloody cool people now that can help you if I can't. That's what I've done. You know, I've attracted people that are just decent specimens of life. I think if you're leaving the military, don't get bogged down too much with making something perfect. Just do something that you think you'd enjoy. Because if you spend time on working on a career path that you enjoy, then you're not going to have to work hard to get out of bed in the morning. And if you don't have to work hard to get out of bed in the morning, you're already way more useful than some of the people that have got supposed careers where they get paid, you know, big figures every single month. Don't get bogged down in the sludge of thinking that you need to have a certain career path in mind, and that also includes for cash flow. Cash flow will come to you when you're good at what you do. You'll be good at what you do because you enjoy what you do. When you enjoy what you do, people will gravitate towards you. It's not anything that's written down, but me and one of my best mates, George, would often joke, and this is after we're like pulling all-nighters, doing a renovation on the gym, or there's something going on. We'd always just remember times and say it could always be worse. And that could always be worse is definitely the half full glass. And I feel like I've been through enough adversity now, whether that's a brain or body, that most of the other things that I've come across, they're nothing. Some of the adventures I've done, I know you've done as well, Ross. You know, people tout them as being the hardest races in the world. Those races are easy compared to the constant dialogue you can have with yourself if you don't like yourself. You know, I'd rather run those races every single day of the week than be a person that didn't like who they were. So, life is fine.
How do you live a better life? How do you be a good person? No pressure.
You, in my opinion, I am a product of my own bias. This is just what I believe at the moment. It may change in a few years. You let people know that you give a shit. You let enough people know that you give a shit about them, what they've done for you. All of a sudden, you know, no matter how broken you feel, I genuinely just feel better about myself. I'm giving my energy when people know that Rob Blair tends to get pretty busy. But if you're getting my energy, it's because I want those people to be successful. And it definitely comes back on you tenfold. Leading a better life in that sense is easier when you've got so many other people that want what you want. More joy, more happiness. You know, make people feel happy about themselves because they're good people. Remind them that they are those people. Life is better.
And that, people, is that. What an awesome gym, and what an incredible human being Rob Blair is. It was an absolute privilege to talk to Rob, so cheers, buddy. If you'd like to listen to the full conversation myself and Rob had, I'll put the link in the description below. That'll be available on Spotify. And that's the end of this week's video. If you enjoyed the video, thumbs up. If you'd like to share the video or comment, please do. And even better, if you would like to subscribe to the channel, that would be immense for me, and it would be great because we might be able to push the Vet Files out to a wider audience. However, until next week, later.